This episode of PhotoComment is brought to you by htxt.africa, South Africa's best new tech blog. Find out more at www.htxt.co.za.
Tristan here from PhotoComment magazine, and with me today we've got Noel Hammond, who is the training manager for Tudor Tech in South Africa. They are the official distributors for Sigma in South Africa, and we've invited him in studio today to just talk to us a little bit about Sigma's USB dock, take a look at how it works on some of their new global vision lenses, and we'll also ask him a little bit later to explain to us a bit about the different lenses Sigma have as well. Noel, thank you very much for your time, I appreciate it. We've been quite intrigued about this USB dock, and we wanted to kind of just find out from you what does it do and how do we actually make it work?
Well, Tristan, first of all, welcome. Thank you very much for having me here today. Really great to be part of this.
Thank you.
Yeah, the USB dock, I think Sigma have really taken the photographic industry by storm in bringing out these USB docks. What the actual USB dock is like, it's just a rear lens cap. I don't know if you can see, rear lens cap that fits on the back of the lens, and it allows you to do quite a few adjustments on the particular lens. This only pertains to all the new global vision lenses, so unfortunately none of the old lenses will work with the USB dock. So what you can do with the USB dock, if you notice all the newer cameras that are coming out, you can do a micro adjustment on the CCD. And what you can do here now is you can take your global vision lenses that we have and place your USB dock at the back, get the Optimization Pro software, and you can go and set your lenses for near, mid or far distances infinity. You can do micro adjustments between a -20 and a +20 shift for different distances. So you can really take your lenses and set up your own things, your own style, your photography, what you want out of your lens, do your own tests and set up your lenses for close, near or infinity for the sharpness of the lens. So this really can improve and bring out the sharpness of the photography that you're doing.
So you don't need to take it back to a workshop and let the technicians know.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Absolutely. Another nice thing about it, of course, if there's any new firmware, updated firmware on the lenses that are available, automatically you connect to the internet, put your USB docking device, it will automatically look for any firmware update or software update, which is really great.
Fantastic.
And then your lens can always have the latest firmware. And as you said, don't have to take it into a workshop to get it done for you.
Fantastic. Is it possible that you can maybe show us a little bit about how the software works and guide us through what the process would be?
Yes, absolutely. I think that's a very good idea. Let's go through the processes. So the first thing, let's take the 18 to 30, this is the 35mm lens. This is the new global vision lens. As you can see, it's got an A on it as well. We'll discuss that a little bit later. And of course, I've got a Canon mount here and a Canon USB dock. You only get this for Canon and Nikon, unfortunately, at this particular stage. And hopefully they will bring out other manufacturers' lenses as well. But we've got this for Canon and Nikon. So let's put that on. As you can see, just rear cap. There the light goes on to say it's connected. Then we've got some software now that we can run. And the first thing it's going to do for us is checking for latest firmware of the lens. So we're just waiting for this to see what it's looking on the internet, and
it's quite amazing how it picks it up automatically that it's the 35-1.4. It's fantastic.
Absolutely. You can see if you look on the left hand side, it picks up all the lenses that you put on it. If what you've done looks at the serial number of the lens as well, so you can put different ones on. It'll keep tabs of all your lenses as well for you.
Very interesting.
So checking the latest firmware of lenses available. It's taking a little bit of time. There we go. Okay, so we're going to close this. Can't connect to the internet at the moment, so we're going to leave that. Okay, so cannot connect. There we go. So no problem. So the first thing, if you look, okay, now it's reading the setting of the lens. So what it's doing, the software Optimization Pro software, is actually reading the settings of the lens, what all setting on the lenses. As you can see, it gives you, it says a Canon mount, it gives you the serial number, and it gives you the firmware version as well. So it's really, really nice information to have. Then we've got a firmware update button, which of course we can't do because we're not connecting to the internet. And then we've got a customization button.
And that would also obviously only give you if there was new firmware pushed out.
If there was new firmware pushed out, automatically it'll come back to you and say there is new firmware available. Do you want to update the firmware, yes or no? Do you agree to the terms and conditions? yes or no, and update, and of course then it'll update. The most important thing when working with these things and updating the software, make sure you're connected to a power source, your battery's fully charged. You don't want to go through halfway through and have a crash. So that could create a little few problems for us. Okay, so let's have a look at customization. So on customization, you can see the one that's grayed out. So we can look at our focus setting. Okay, so we look at our focus setting. So here, because it's a fixed focal lens, we've got a 35mm, so I can go, it's got 4 settings that we can do. We've got here 0.3 meters, 0.4 meters, 0.6 meters, and right through to infinity. That we can actually change the focusing distances or the micro adjustments of the lenses for that. So you go set up your own little station somewhere with a chart if you want to, or whatever product you want. Set your lens on a tripod. Measure the distances, look at all these things and see where you want and the sharpness that you want at those distances. So what I can do here is I can click on a near distance, 0.3 meters for very close focusing, and I can just adjust that element plus, right up to plus 20 or to minus 20. So I will then do my test shots, I will look at all my images, and then I will change everything to what I need and come back and redo my micro adjustment again. Once we have selected our adjustments that we need to make, we've got a rewriting button. As you can see, it was grayed out. As soon as we make an adjustment on it, it comes in bold, no problem, so you can start rewriting. So we click rewrite, and again it says just caution, read through the below instructions. In other words, just make sure that you're doing the right thing. So agree to it, there we agree, and as you can see it starts to rewrite to the firmware, adjusting all the micro adjustments that you've made in your camera.
Simple and quick.
And it's very, very quick and very easy. So close, so there we go, okay? So another nice thing about this, if we've made a mistake, it's very simple and easy to go back, because all we can do is we can click the reset to default, and it resets all the factory settings to, we say yes, reset all settings, yes, and it reclicks all the settings to factory default, as you can see. But we mustn't forget, we still need to write that to the lens. If we don't write to that lens, of course it's not going to make any changes. So let's rewrite that again, agree to the conditions, and there we're rewriting everything, the factory defaults. So quite nice. If you made a mistake on the lens, very easy to go back to factory default, and that goes for all the lenses. Okay, so on a fixed focal length lenses, we've only got a few settings that we can do, but this can make or break a picture at the end of the day. Just to make slight adjustments here, really bring out the sharpness and the pixels and everything else. So as I said, really absolutely fantastic and new innovation on lenses.
So then obviously on a zoom lens you would have more options, is what you're hinting towards.
Yes.
May I?
Yeah, let's bring in the big baby. This is really, really fantastic lens. This is the 120-300 f2.8 all the way through, and there's a lot more settings, a lot more things that we can actually do with the lens as well. So let's have a quick look, and I don't know if you can show a little bit over here. Yeah, we've got a few settings on a particular lens as well. We've got our standard focus, focus settings, autofocus, manual focus. We've got our 10 meters to infinity full, or just 10 meters, up to 10 meters.
Focus range limiter.
And yes, focus range limiter. And then we've got, of course, optical stabilizer mode 1 and mode 2, or off. And then we've also got, really fantastic, we've got customization, custom functions, C1 and C2, or off. So we can have actually 3 settings. We can have off, would be the factory default settings, and then we can customize this lens for custom 1 and custom 2. And that really makes it very, very interesting, because you might be going out in the afternoon or the evening, or in the afternoon and doing a certain shoot, say for example sport, and the evening you're going to go and do some fashion photography, where you're going to shoot the models coming down the ramp, and of course your settings for those things are very, very different. And when setting up the lens for that, it's easy now. I can go and set up custom function for one setting, custom function 2 for another setting, and I can have off for a general standard setting for everyday use. So again, let's take our USB dock device, plug it in, and of course, plug it out. There we go. Have a look at it as we go. Now again, it's asking us checking if the firmware of the USB dock is available. Okay, check if the latest firmware of the lens is available. So you can see the green, if you look over here, the green light is on. Okay, so that means we power on our lens. Now it's checking on the lens itself. It's picked up what lens it is as well, because I've worked on this lens before. So it's picked up the lens, 123 f2.8, you can see, 13. So let's see if that is available. It's taking its time.
May I ask you, this is an updated 120-300.
Yes.
What kind of things changed between this and the previous generation you had before? Because that was already a popular lens. Have Sigma made huge changes to it? Obviously the custom function is something that looks new.
Well, if you look at the whole design of the lens, is different. It is very different. The concept is, of course, the same 120 123 f2.8. So all the elements in that are the same, but of course the total design is different. This is a TFC material, so the whole material and the design of the lens has changed. As you can see with all the new lenses, if you look at the new lenses, really, I think the designs are really fantastic and really modern and up to date. So those are, of course, the internal workings. In being able to update the firmware and the custom functions of these things has been the biggest change for me. Of course, the nice thing about this now, it's an aluminium lens hood, which I like and prefer, because the little plastic ones they do seem a lot more solid. So the lens has got a very solid feel and everything to it as well. Very, very nice.
Fantastic.
Okay, so let's have a look at the lens. So here again, we've looked Canon mount. It gives us the serial number of the lens, and it gives us the firmware version as well. And this firmware version already I've updated previously. So we've got version 0.2.11.0141, and then you can see firmware update is available. Firmware update, we're not going to do any firmware updates. We can go straight into customization, and this is the customization for the autofocus and OS. So let's have a look at the focus settings. We've got a focus setting, customization mode setting, and of course we've got a reset all setting as well, so we can go back to the factory default, which is really a great thing. So let's look at focus setting. So now all of a sudden we can see the focus setting. There's huge differences compared to a fixed focal length lens. Here we've got 120, 150, 200 and 300, and we can set also 4 different distances with that near, close and infinity. So we can set here about 2.5 meters if I'm reading correctly, about 6, 10 meters and infinity. So we can really do a lot more. So there's 16 adjustments now we can do to this particular lens. For the microfocus adjustments on each of those elements at the different focal length lenses.
Incredible.
So it's really, really nice. So you know, I can say, okay, so 120, we get doing something at 120. I feel at 120 maybe it's a little bit soft, so I want to sharpen up a little bit on 120 on the near side. So very close to me, between 1.5 and 2 meters, it'll be 1.5 meters. So I can make a slight adjustment. Okay, to that. Then I say, okay, 150 to infinity when I'm at 150 millimeters. I think the infinity maybe is also a little bit out, so I can make a slight adjustment there. And 200 I'm happy with. Already you can see I've had a +4 adjustment there. And at 300, yeah, 300, so okay, at 300 also infinity, I want to make a slight adjustments as well. And as you can see, we've highlighted now rewriting, so we can say rewrite. Again, asking you, just your caution, do you agree or do you want to return? Agree to update. So we agree to update, and as you can see, it's very, very quick to update the software.
Still how fast
so really, so this is our overall things like that for the lens. So if we're not happy, we can we made a mistake now. We go shoot our pictures again, and we test it, and we slightly out, so we can go reset to factory default and say yes. Let's reset to factory default, and of course, don't forget to rewrite. We don't rewrite, of course, it doesn't stay. So let's rewrite to factory default. And rewriting firmware is complete, you can disconnect the lens. Okay, so let's go return to other menu, okay? Let's now, the really fantastic thing for me here is the customization mode setting. So we click customization setting, and then it brings us up to C1 and C2. So our status for customization 1 and status for customization 2. Let's now go to customization 1. Okay, as you can see now, there's a lot more adjustments we can do on this. We can go and set AF speed setting, focus limiter setting, and OS setting. So if we go, let's have a look. I'm going to do rugby in the afternoon, okay? I've been an ex-sports photographer, so we did a little bit of rugby, so this would be ideal for me. So we're going to go to motor drive speed priority. Okay. So if we click motor drive speed priority, we've got standard or focus accurate priority. With your motor drive speed priority, this really makes it very, very fast. For me, when you're doing sports photography, your focusing has got to be there. You've got to be there all the time. That's what you want. You want the height of action, so you don't want anything to be slowed down. If it's slightly out in your focusing, it's not the end of the world, because you can also make adjustments to your micro adjustments that we've done already. But we want it to be as focused as fast as possible. So I can select that. If I don't like, so I can do that, and I'll say OK. And then we can go to focus limiter setting.
So obviously on the rugby field, you can't find space.
If I'm sitting behind the try line, do I need that really space? How far behind the try line I am? So I don't really need that space. So let's limit the range that lens focuses.
Okay. So speeds up the lens.
And of course, the lens has got less space to travel, and your focusing is a lot quicker. So I know I still need maybe infinity, but I don't need anything from, say, because I'm sitting now 12 meters behind. So I can say, okay, anything before 12 meters I don't need, because the try line is still 12 meters away. Okay. I'm not going to set it right at the start of the try line, of course. I'm going to set a little bit back into the goal area, because that's what I want. So, but again, you can do these sort of do these things if you're doing swimming, if you're doing athletics. You can set these things to yourself as well, because you also know the distances you're not allowed to. You can't get close to the track or something like that. Yeah. So that is wasted. So I can do that. So I can set it. Okay, let's set this to 12 meters to infinity. Okay, I know the lens has got a 10 meters to infinity, but we don't want that. Make it 12 meters to infinity, and we say okay. OS setting. The OS setting really is just there for the eye, for your eye. You can make it dynamic, standard, and moderate view modes. If dynamic, it's very much in your eye, with your eye into the viewfinder all the time. So maybe in sport you want it dynamic, or you could leave it for standard, or you could put it on to moderate view mode.
Okay.
Okay. So just makes things a little bit easier on the viewfinder in that mode. So let's leave it on standard, and we'll say okay. And let's go to rewrite. Agree, let's rewrite. So now we're rewriting our custom function 1 to our requirements and to our setup that we want to shoot in the afternoon at our rugby. Well, sport events closed down. Okay, so let's return. But now hang on a minute. After the rugby, I'm going to go and do this shoot. As I said to you a little bit earlier, we're going to go and do a shoot. We've got this fashion show we're going to do. We're going to shoot the people, the models coming down the ramp. And I know for that particular thing, I don't need infinity, and I'm also a certain distance away, and I'm only going to shoot in between a particular range. So let's click select custom function 2 for that. And there I can go AF speed setting. I want focus accuracy priority. So I wanted the focus to be more accurate, and that must be the priority. So I select, I've got, of course, motor drive speed priority standard, or focus accuracy priority. So we select that, we say OK, and then we go focus limiter setting. Now this is a nice thing. So I know I can go and measure the tape and get there a little bit earlier, put my little marking down where I'm going to shoot from, where the model's going to come. And I know I'm not going to shoot anything from, I'm going to shoot everything from maybe 10 meters, but I'm not going to be more than, say, 15 meters away. So anything between 10 and 15 meters, that's where I'm going to shoot my models, and that's what my full frame picture is going to be from the place that I'm shooting at. So I don't need anything after 15 meters, and I don't need anything before 10 meters. Okay. So really it's going to be just a small little place that you're shooting with. You can really go and, now you know it's going to be quick, it doesn't have to hunt very much. And you're going to be it's going to be very quick to focus. And I'm going to say OK. OS setting, of course, I'd rather, in this particular instance, rather have moderate view mode, just to be more subtle to view in the eye. And I'm going to say OK. And then I'm going to rewrite and agree to the conditions. And we're going to rewrite now our custom function 2.
Fantastic.
So now I've got my lens set up as a standard, because I can switch the customization off. Yeah. I've checked my micro focusing distances on my different focal length lens. I'm happy with that. I'm going to shoot rugby or sport in the afternoon, and so I've selected custom function 1 for that, and then I've set custom function 2 for my photography in the evening for my fashion shoot.
That's fantastic.
And
in the flick of a switch, you're switching between both modes.
Absolutely.
It's incredible.
So, I've got 3 modes I can do. Standard, with everything's open. That will take into my adjustment, my micro focus adjustments that I've done on my particular focal length lenses. Or custom function 1, custom function 2. So I've really got 3 settings that I can actually use with the lens.
Cool. So that's incredible, the way that you can customize it and create that. The USB dock available already in South Africa?
Yes, the USB dock is available already. Just ask your local retailer.
Okay, and price-wise, what are we looking at? Going to charge us a fortune? Or?
No, I don't think so. I think it depends on the retailer you go to, but I am not a fan with all the prices, but I would expect a USB dock not to be much more than, say, 750 Rand at any retailer.
Okay.
So
obviously
maybe a little bit more exchange rate dependent and things like that. So let's call it, I think, to be on the safe side, let's call it under 1,000 Rand.
Okay.
The software, of course, is downloadable, so it's free.
Okay.
Just go to the Sigma website and you download the Sigma Optimization Pro software.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Noel. Appreciate taking us through that. Guys, we're going to take a break here, and then we will jump into another video with Noel where we might ask him to decipher some of the stuff around Sigma. But thank you for joining us for this one. Be sure to like the video and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, or head to photocomment.net for more and grab the latest issue of PhotoComment magazine. Cheers.
This episode of PhotoComment is brought to you by htxt.africa, South Africa's best new tech blog. Find out more at www.htxt.co.za.